Hi, and welcome to Pixel. In this video, we're going to be covering how to create an ATS-friendly resume. If you are looking to improve your resume, you might consider making your resume ATS-friendly. But what does that really mean? What does ATS stand for, and should I care? What we are looking at right now is considered to be an ATS-friendly resume, and we'll go through it shortly. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. It is a system used by many companies to vet large numbers of resumes submitted online quickly. When companies receive hundreds of resumes, it makes it impossible for a single person to go through all the resumes and make decisions on who to interview. The ATS software essentially goes through and checks the resumes for basic information to exclude those that do not fit the criteria and highlight those that seem to be a fit. The ATS software works best when it can read your resume easily. So making your resume ATS friendly essentially means that you are making it easily readable by the software by making sure you are using simplified formatting that can be read by the software. Without going into too much detail, here are a few things to consider when making your resume ATS friendly. First, use standard formatting. The idea here is to keep it simple. For example, this font is pretty well accepted. So is Arial, Calibri, and New Times Roman. Those are typical fonts that you can find in most tools and will be readable by the ATS software. Fancier fonts might have trouble getting read by the software. 2. Choose the right file format. DocX and PDF are most common. In this case, we have this opened on a Pages document on an Apple laptop. In this case, if you wanted to save this file as a DocX or a PDF, you can easily convert your file to DocX or a PDF by going to File, going to Export, and then choosing the export file type, PDF or Word. 3. Include relevant keywords. For example, in this template resume, you can see that we have people-centered, purposeful, user experience-centered, communication skills. These are all keywords that you can use on your skills section, on your experience section, and in the summary section. These keywords are best used throughout your resume. This way, all the relevant keywords that are relevant to your job can be found throughout your resume and they can have a high match. 4. Use standard section headings. Things like experience, education, and skills are standard headings. Trying to change these to different style and type headings might mean that they are less recognizable to the ATS software. 5. Graphics. We want to make sure to avoid graphics. On this resume, notice that we have no graphics. It makes the resume look simpler, but it is highly readable to the ATS software. Whereas adding a picture at the top or pictures or graphics throughout your resume can diminish the chances that the ATS software will read your resume appropriately. 6. Spell out acronyms. In this case, you see down here in User Experience Centered, I could have put UX, but I spelled out User Experience, and I spelled out User Experience throughout my resume to make sure that it is clearly understood what UX stands for and it is readable by the software. 7. Don't rely on text boxes and columns. In this resume, we do not use any text boxes. The only thing that can be considered a column is in the skills section where it is formatted by this Word document, whereas if you were to insert a table with text boxes and columns and more rows from a different software such as Excel into this, it would create problems for readability. 8. Keep the file size reasonable. Making a quick one-page resume has its benefits. 9. Proofread your resume. Make sure you have your spelling correct, your punctuation, and your keywords and profession added correctly. And 10. Test your resume. There are various websites online that you can use to test your resume and make sure it's ATS friendly. As you can see, this ATS friendly resume includes your first and last name big at the top, a job title, email address, phone number, and website, a summary at the top with no more than 1 or 2 sentences, your experience section with your most recent position and another relevant position, your education, and some skills. You might be thinking that this makes your resume very bland looking, and you might be right, but when submitting that resume into a computer system to read your resume, that works in your favor. If you are concerned about how your resume looks, consider creating one that looks good and one that is ATS friendly. This way you can use either depending on where you are submitting it, online or in person. We've created a couple of ATS friendly resume templates on Etsy. We will link this one below for you to consider. Let us know if you have any questions. All the best on your job search.